Phil.
Oh, boy.
Aaron Rodgers expected to be in town tonight with the expectation of him signing this weekend. This is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
This is the real thing, folks.
Yep.
Not speculation. This is what we have been told.
Okay, so he wants more money, and Steelers are going to cave. He deserves more money. They were actually a grown-up functional offense. You can look at the numbers. Pre-Aaron Rodgers in 2024, they were completely inept at virtually everything. And last year, they may not have been special, but it was a massive improvement. They were actually, didn't give the ball up much and, honestly, pretty good in the red zone. So you can't ask a Hall of Fame quarterback in back-to-back years to give you 2 freebies. Last year was sort of like that Costco free sample year. Aaron gave you some Costco free samples. And now Aaron's saying, okay, this year I need you to buy in bulk. No freebie. I mean, he had a better year than Baker Mayfield and made about 35% of what Baker Mayfield did. The bigger picture, though, with Cleveland is that I can remember having a discussion with a boss years and years ago at a television network, and the boss said, we've got about a 7 to a 10-year plan. I don't expect NFL teams to have 7 to 10-year plans, but most NFL GMs I talk to have between a 3 and a 5-year quarterback plan, and the Steelers don't. That's why the Rams drafted Ty Simpson. They think they're going to get 2 great years, Stafford, maybe a third. But most NFL teams have a 3 to a 5-year plan at quarterback, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, they treat quarterback like it's a slot corner or an off-ball linebacker. We may get to it at the trading deadline. Let's see what plays out in the preseason. That's how they do it. The Eagles, a great organization. They had Carson Wentz. They drafted Jalen Hurts. The Rams, Ty Simpson. Belichick, during Brady's best years, every couple of years he's drafting a quarterback. The Green Bay Packers, it's an industry. They draft Aaron, sit 3 years. They draft Jordan Love, sits multiple years. The Pittsburgh Steelers don't do it that way. And, I mean, basically, Big Ben had his last great year was like in 2020. He had 33 touchdowns. He was old, but he had a great year. The following year, Big Ben fell off a cliff. Every number went down. Everything regressed. And their decision, their game plan was Mitch Trubisky, who had been a backup in Buffalo, and Kenny Pickett, a massive overdraft. And I said it at the time, I didn't have a single GM that thought Pickett was a first-round quarterback. Most thought he was a middle third-round quarterback. So they treat quarterback with absolutely no urgency at all. And it would be like running a television network. And what are you going to do for the fall football season? We'll figure it out in July. I mean, wait. At Fox, when it comes to the World Cup or a Super Bowl, literally the minute a World Cup ends, you're planning for the next one. It's a global event. When a Super Bowl ends, you got a few years, but it's a 2-year event planning for a Super Bowl. Well, it's the same with NFL teams, except the Steelers. They've had 5 different quarterbacks for their opening game in 5 years.
Okay, let's talk about this. I'm not going to comment too much on Colin just deciding to just go on a whole rant and rip the Pittsburgh Steelers right now when this is good news. I want to just talk about this because I think this graphic actually is incredibly telling and really points out what Aaron Rodgers can bring, because a lot of people want to downplay what Aaron brought to the table last year, and yet we can clearly see this stark contrast. People just hate Aaron Rodgers, and so they just don't want to give him any positives. But and with the Pittsburgh Steelers, what Colin is saying is not 100% incorrect, but it's not the most fair, because obviously we know the Steelers have been consistently middle of the pack, so they never get a great draft pick, etc., etc. But what the Steelers could have done, and this is not really discussed that much, they could be making other trades that give them the potential of a higher draft pick, not unlike exactly what the Los Angeles Rams did, and that's how they were able to get Ty Simpson in the first place, right? That was the Atlanta Falcons draft pick. And the Steelers could have done things like that in years past to try to set them up to have a higher draft pick. So, that's certainly a possibility. But make no mistake about it, let's say Ty Simpson was a stronger candidate, right? Let's say it was truly Fernando Mendoza and Ty Simpson as oh my gosh, 1 and 2. Well, The Arizona Cardinals draft him or something, and then the Rams don't get Ty Simpson, and they're not going to draft up the number 2. You know, they weren't going to do that. So, even in a year that worked out for them potentially, we'll see what happens to Ty Simpson. They still needed luck. They still needed the exact type of quarterback who people are like, I don't know, is this guy great? Is this guy the future? Or I don't know, maybe we'll wait for him in the, later in the first round or maybe even the second round, right? Like whatever it is. But if it was like bona fide, like no, this guy's for real. This guy's legit. And if anything, it's the debate is like who should go one, Ty Simpson or Fernando Mendoza. Like which one? Which one? Then the Rams don't get him, and then poof, there you go. Goodbye. See you. So, it's just we can't act like it's super easy just to be able to like magically draft a great franchise quarterback, because it's not. Before I go any further, please Pittsburgh series fans, do not forget to subscribe and watch the full length of the video. I'm super fired up by this news, honestly. And when you guys subscribe, when you guys watch a full-length video, when you subscribe while watching the video at the same time, views go through the roof, subscribers go through the roof, and it just creates such an avalanche effect. And again, it's not about chasing views. It's not about chase subscribers. It's about creating Pittsburgh Steelers content that people genuinely want to watch. So, we can have real, honest, grounded discussions. And it's not the easiest to do that with the Pittsburgh Steelers when Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback. And I told you guys this before, like I lived in Pittsburgh. I lived in Oakland. And so I know how passionate they are about their football out there. I was there when they won the Super Bowl, and it's just, the sum of the conversations around the Steelers. I don't know why they became like everyone's go to like let's just dunk on Pittsburgh, or just act like they just keep making dumb decision after dumb decision after dumb decision. And it's like, I think they've, pulled some interesting flyers. Do I think they've done a good enough job to get that quarterback, set up? No. But it's just, they have taken some chances. They have taken some swings. Hasn't worked out. Could it be better? Of course. But, ultimately, this is what I thought they should do with Aaron. Like, I was getting sick of the whole back and forth type thing. And so, I kind of said either move on or don't. Like, either way. And then even if you think that you have your backup quarterback, like your backup quarterback is set to be your future. Like Will Howard or whoever, Drew Aller, it's just you still want Aaron there. Like it's still worth it to pay Aaron. And I went on my whole rant about even the amount of money that they're going to pay Aaron. Does not break the bank. It does not affect their ability to build a great team this year or next year or the year after. Like I went through all the math, all the numbers before. So it's just like not paying Aaron is just strictly just like because we just don't want to. Like it doesn't actually affect your ability to make a better team. It's not going to be like next year or the year after we're going to be watching a game and they're going to be like, see, this team is just not good enough right now. And this is the problem. 2 years ago, remember Aaron Rodgers wanted more money. And because of that, they couldn't afford to, to beef up their O-line. Like, that's not the situation that we're in. That's not the situation that we're in at all. So, though the money is just strictly like we just don't want to. And now they're going to, and it just makes sense because he is worth that money, He's worth that money. He's not saying I want a 4-year, $250 million contract here. Like, that's not the case. I'm excited to see what it actually ends up being, but I'm confident it'll be worth it. And you see what even someone who's clearly past their physical prime can bring to an offense. And I'm pretty excited to see what Aaron does this year because they continue to improve it even more. The O-line should be better. The run game should be better. The passing game should be better. The coaching should be better. Like, I'm genuinely excited. I really am. They made some moves. Got some more pass catchers. Still got their 450 pounds, parent tight end, which we kind of got robbed to be able to really see what that could look like because, everything was a little disconnected earlier on in the season. And then, of course, he got injured unfortunately, but that was kind of building somewhere nicely. Pittman, DK, like I think there's some juice here, honestly. I really do. I think, put it this way, if Aaron can stay healthy and play at the level that he did this last season, considering the changes that the Steelers made, I can see this improving even more. Again, are we going to watch this and be like, oh my god, Pittsburgh Steelers just built a top 3 offense in the NFL? Not necessarily. But couldn't there be a lot of action there? Can there be a lot of juice there? Can there be like legitimate momentum there in games to be won? Absolutely. 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 So I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated to see also if the defense can actually take a step forward now. I'm interested to see if in the latter years of Mike Tomlin's stay there, if he was actually holding back the defense a little bit more than maybe people realized or not, So, I think it's just an interesting time in Pittsburgh, and I think it's okay to be optimistic, and dare I say it's okay to be excited. It's okay to be excited. I know the Steelers aren't exactly where they want to be. Ultimately, you want to feel like you're in the situation where like, alright, this coming year, like you want to feel like the Rams, right? Like we can win the Super Bowl right now. Like it is on. But I think, sometimes the next best thing is just kind of like I don't know. It's actually going to be a pretty entertaining and interesting season. I don't know if we're going to win the 0 roll. I don't know if we're going to make the playoffs. I don't know if we're going to win the division, but like I don't know. I really want to watch and find out. And that's how I feel when there's other teams. This is what I was saying when I made an Arizona Cardinals video. It's like, not really excited to watch an Arizona Cardinals game. Like, I don't really care. I'll be honest with you. I'll watch it. I'll take notes. I'll talk about it if there's things to talk about, but it's like it's not at the top of my list of things that I'm excited to watch. I am genuinely excited to watch the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm genuinely excited to see how those games are going to unfold. I'm genuinely excited to see the Steelers versus the Ravens. Like, I'm genuinely excited for that. And a big part of that is going to be because of Aaron Rodgers and what this offense and Mike McCarthy, etc. are going to look like. And so, you know what? That's all. If that's the floor of what you can expect from a team, sign me up. Sign me up. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Pittsburgh Steelers? Aaron Rodgers likely to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. My Rodgers to visit Steelers tomorrow. I thought it was today. I think I heard I was watching another clip from a different show earlier on that said it's happening today, but I guess it's happening tomorrow. So, I guess we won't fully know unless there's leaks of like what the contract is and Adam Schefter comes out and says he'll be signing a contract for $35 million tomorrow. That's what's expected. So, we'll see if more information comes out. As of right now, I have obviously no idea what the actual price point is. But most likely this is all going to just go down and be pretty straightforward and pretty smoothly. But, man, who knows? Who knows? But let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get to some discussions. Let's get to some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much.